Superlight, Superlight. So he's Thierry Brouwer's Superlight.
Yes. All right, the one and only. Warm welcome, everyone. It's so nice to see you all here. Some of you probably met me at Nuage Cafe, and never saw me before. I've been in the field since 2007. I have a meetup group called meetup.com/Nuage Cafe, but before that it was Raw Some Life. I was teaching about raw food, how to grow wheatgrass, sunflowers, how to sprout beans and stuff like that. And I traveled the state all around the country on vegetable oil, by the way, because I'm all about the economy and save money too, might as well.
Is that what that motorcycle runs on?
Yeah. Well, the future of vehicle is going to be electromagnetic, and prior to that it was actually running on hydrogen. I had a Dodge Charger's converted into hydrogen, so that was a lot of fun too, a lot of savings. Anyway, we're here today for one reason. Welcome to our new world, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. We are going to a huge shift. Some know a little bit, or some know more. I don't call myself an expert. I just researched the information and I'm sharing with you. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just excited about life and excited about what we are as human beings and what we can do to live our ultimate potential, because we have abilities. I feel them in my heart, and what's out there doesn't resonate with me. So there's a better thing, there's a better way, and creating Nuage Cafe was an image in that kind of paradise that I visioned and to offer it to you. So who have been to Nuage Cafe before? Well, quite a few. So you saw that little paradise type of like it. It's something that I brought into, you know, my own reality, and there's nothing like it out there. There's no such concept. And talking about concept or ideas, language, ethnicities, races, age, etc., is all this world is so divided. For what reason? Really no one, because we are one planet. This is one home. This is one whole. There's no chance to go out another planet and escape. We're kind of stuck here. So make really the best out of it. And be conscious about, you know, the way we live, the way we think, and the way we act, and etc. So what is going on today? December 21st, 21. Well, first of all, I'm still alive. You're still alive. So whatever information was out there doesn't work. And it's been out there for 3,000 years. It's a group of people that send information and scare people to leave them in fear. Because when you live in fear, you can't really do what you want in your life. We have this huge potential as humans to be able to do, have, and be everything we want in our lives. And all we have to do is just be in this grateful state of mind, and especially in the love environment. Love vibration, the highest vibration we can live. But we can manifest the thing we want in our lives. And that's what it's all about. December 21st, 2012 is about the shift from a zodiac calendar to a new one. That's what the Mayans call the end of the calendar is just the beginning of a new one. The Mayans had 17 different calendars, so it's a little bit confusing. But the main one is today. The Mayan calendar of December 21st is today. So what is happening? I just drew a picture here to explain to you what's going on. We are moving from an equinox of Pisces into an equinox of Aquarius. Now these four elements, so you recognize the cross. There's always four elements in the center, which is the center that creates the spin. Pisces was water, and I put an M here, which is mutable. I don't know if you know about this, but there's two types of zodiacs. There's mutable and there's fixed. The next one was Gemini, which was air, mutable as well. The Virgo was earth, mutable as well. And Sagittarius was fire, which was mutable again. This was the last 2,000 years. Prior to this, there was Aries. And prior to this, there were some other ones. There's a great book here that I met the writer, came to Nuage Cafe. The Greatest Story Never Told by Ron Watson. And he's got a lot of good information there. And it's all about the vernal equinox and the poles and how everything shifts. I'm not an astronomer. I just read a little bit about it. It's very easy to read and to understand. And this is the vernal equinox, all the zodiacs in the sky that we can see at night. So before that was Pisces, before was Aries and Taurus and etc. So now we're shifting to the beginning of Aquarius. The Aquarius is here, which represent the air, fixed. The Taurus is earth, fixed. The Leo is fire, fixed. And the Scorpio is water, fixed as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So the one before Pisces and Virgo, the one before the mutable, was the cardinal, which would have been Cancer in the water sign, and that would have been the time of Jesus' birth.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's just interesting to see how that plays out. And so after Aquarius, 2,000 years, we'll go back to the cardinals again.
Everything is a repetition. Everything spins, so it goes back to the original point. Everything spins in life. In nature, there's no such thing as straight line. So when you think of light that travels so fast, that travels in space, it actually spins. So you can't think about how big the space is if light is actually going in circle. Something about light, there's all polarity in all different things, like yin and yang, black and white, right and wrong. And light has also polarity. Light's speed is 300 meters per second. And the polarity of light is superlight. It was discovered in the 1930s by some Russian scientists and rediscovered by a friend of mine, John Milewski. I highly recommend if you want to check his website, John Milewski. He discovered again about superlight, which is a force. It's one source, one force, that travels 1 billion times faster than light. Light is one center expanding light toward the universe. Superlight is the opposite. It's a light from the universe coming to one point. So, I don't want to say I'm superlight, but I want to represent superlight because nobody knows about it. And I think I'm fast enough with that light. So I'm going to go through notes. This is the first time I do such presentation, as you can imagine. I'm not too much of a public speaker either, but...
You're doing great, Thierry.
Well, thank you, so far.
So far, no one's snoring.
There's something about me. Originally, I'm from France. By the way, my name is Thierry. That was the name given. And I came to the United States 14 years ago. I'm a good swimmer. I got lost and got caught in the current. Well, actually, I learned culinary. I was teaching with Paul Bocuse, Gaston Lenotre. They own the French Premier in Epcot Center, and they sponsored me to work in Epcot. So I did that for a year. Then I worked on cruise ships for a year. I was working as a waiter and busboy. And then I decided to work on in the same type of environment because I love people. I love to serve, and I thought I was very bad at school. It just didn't make sense to me. And so all I can do is just serve people. And I felt good about it because when you do something and then you get a smile back, it kind of, wow, it's a great reward. And what a great reward that can be. And so I decided to come back in the United States and in Florida because the water is warm. I'm a great surfer, windsurfer. And worked in the industry for 12 years as a waiter, manager, and etc. So working as a waiter was great because I was working night, and during the day I had the time to do some research and find out questions that I always ask myself. And nobody could answer, like who we are, what we're meant to be here on this planet. The answers just doesn't resonate with me. Or questions like, what does a cloud makes a cloud? Stupid question, but nobody could answer me. Why is it that a cloud looks like a cotton ball is there, while next to it it's just empty space? Or what is that thing between us that can make a plane fly? Why is it that pressure? A question like this. Or water is so liquid. Why can't we break our neck jumping from a high cliff? Or water is liquid. Why would we break our neck on it? Or why those speedboats just break apart just on the surface of the water? So those things I've been always searching, and nobody could explain to me. I have all the answers now, very recently. I'm crazy about water, love water, and I'll be happy to share some with you. But there's going to be a few people talking in between, and if you want to know some, and I hope you don't fall asleep on me, I have great information to share with you. So as far as going back to the zodiac, we are going from a mutable space, which is kind of not stable, to a very stable equinox. And what it means here is that this was the dividing part. between races, language, colors, ethnicity, concept, and ideas, to a more unifying space, a more harmonious, where people, instead of you, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, instead of going to a resource or a book and learn it and think you know everything, go out there reading many books and still understand there's much more we have to know. Because in quantum physics they say, it's the science of opportunities, the science of unlimited potentials. So what we're doing here is that we are going toward the understanding of ourselves, looking within, and also the understanding of others. We are going to reach out more of listening to others and listening to ourselves, rather than listening to a third party who's really trying to control us.
You're here.
Yes.
Yes.
So it is time, and I'm so thankful to live in this time at my age and to be here today, and you should be very thankful as well to be witnessing this grand shift. Of course, we maybe don't feel this awakening and all these things, or like thrills or hair flying off, and like some people do when they sit behind pyramids, which a pyramid, when it's well built, can actually happen. And church, actually, the architecture of it is meant to feel that resonance, because sacred geometry is very powerful. Sacred geometry is the architecture of the universe. The sound and music is the language of the universe, or the language of God. So this is wonderful. This is wonderful to be here, because everything is going to shift. All this eco-friendly, environmental, new technology is going to come to place, where we don't have to live with dead oil, coal, and soil to empower ourselves, which is totally absurd. We are transitioning into a new type of civilization. There are hundreds of civilizations on the scale. Skalajev, which a Russian scientist, designed this scale. Type 0 civilization is a civilization like we are now. It's very obsolete, very yeah, it's prehistorical. We're basically animals, kind of. A type 0 civilization is a civilization that utilizes coils of soil, oil, to empower ourselves, to, for our machineries like cars or house or build electricity. A type 1 civilization is a civilization that utilizes the energy that's abundant on Earth, and it's totally free, like magnetism, solar. In half an hour, the sun power comes in half of the Earth, because the other side is in the dark, of course. In half an hour of the sun power, there's enough energy to concentrate and absorb to empower the entire Earth for 1 year. So the sun is very powerful, although it's so far. It takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to travel from the sun to here. You can imagine how far that is, although light is so fast, right? They talk about superlight, light years. We are in this galaxy. Any questions here? Because I'm going to erase it. I'm going to show you the Milky Way and where we stand and where we're going right now. This is the Milky Way galaxy, right? You see I'm using counterclockwise spin. So this is the center galaxy, and we're here somewhere. This is the solar system. So the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, everything is here, right? Well, the distance between the center of the galaxy and us is 280,000 light years. I don't know if you can imagine that. The distance between Earth and the Sun is not even a light year. So 280,000 light years. Imagine. This is just the Milky Way. That's one galaxy. There are 500 trillion galaxies in the universe, or more. Imagine how big that is. When you have an issue in your mind and you worry about the future, or the cars running and stuff like that, just distance yourself and make some space in your mind. Visualize this for a second, or just visualize how far the sun is, or the moon, and some other. It's going to give you more space in your mind. There's something called the bars. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a technique where you put fingers right here, or fingers like that. You can do it to yourself, you can do it to someone else. But just the fact of touching points like this, you can actually create more space in your mind and in your life. And that's what we all need, is more space to be able to utilize that and free ourselves from these issues. Just imagine a large bowl, okay? A large bowl with issues, traumas, dramas, whatever that is. And those issues go back and forth in this ball. Every time they touch the surface, that's where you become conscious of it. So by enlarging, you're creating more space, this issue has more distance to travel. Eventually, it's so far that it will touch it less than before. And that's how you get rid of your traumas and dramas, is by giving yourself more space. So many ways to do that. Meditation is one of them. I was on Facebook earlier, this lady contacted me on an instant message and she goes, "You look like a meditator." I have this pose, right, like this. It's all purple and lights all around. Who's my friend on Facebook? Okay, not many. Facebook.com/Nuage Cafe goes to my personal page. And the business page now has changed, which is Facebook.com/Nature Inspired Technologies. Okay. So this lady asked me, she says, "You look like someone that does meditation. Do you mind if I ask you a question?" I say, "Sure, go ahead." She goes, "Well, when I meditate, I have a hard time to focus. I just lose my focus very quickly. I have so much things in my mind." I said, "Well, there's two things you can do. One is maybe the fear of the unknown. So therefore just get knowledge. Type of knowledge, I directed her to a group called Dhamma, Vipassana meditation. Anybody know about Vipassana meditation?
Yeah.
They have centers all around the world. They don't charge any money. It's by donation only. They host you, they feed you for 10 days, and they teach you how to meditate. I've done that in August last year.
Wow.
Is it locally then?
Yeah, and Georgia is the closest one. It's about 8 hours drive.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. I had very low self-esteem. I was in a bad relationship and being aware and all that stuff. But I went there to give myself 10 days of recentering, recalibration. And that really worked. I came back, opened a restaurant. Think about that. Okay? I highly suggest it. The website address is dhamma.org.
Do you people need writing things?
Yes.
Yeah.
We need implements.
You need implements.
Dhamma?
Terry, let me
I don't wanna do
distribute
what
some
I'm doing
paper.
right
Yeah.
now.
It's dhamma.org.